So here we are, and I'm sure you are too, and enjoying learning, seeking from every session that just gets over. Up next, the CMO's top priorities, a thought that has a vast amount of information. And what are the priorities of CMOs? Rebuild the marketing engine for flexibility in a changing environment. And we're very happy to welcome right now Head Marketing and Communications for Vertiv India, Dipti Singh.
It's my honor and my privilege to be a part of the Feminine Economic Times group. And I am just loving this opportunity to talk about the field which I belong to. It's the most dynamic field in the industry. It's known as marketing management and communications. And what we have chosen today is the CMO's top priorities. The reason why I believe that the top priorities of the CMOs, it keeps on changing in the environment which we belong to. We have seen the last 2 years in the pandemic, the diversity in the organizations brought by adverse effects on economics, on sales, on profits. And then how does the organization adapt its business strategy and how does marketing align? So what is the actual role of a CMO and what are the top priorities? So without much ado, let's deep dive and see. It's going to be really interesting. So the top priorities of a CMO in an organization, we keep on talking about what is the actual book role, like Philip Kotler or Peter Drucker, and then define marketing into something which is into theory. And then we always execute it in terms of metrics, in terms of measurement. But in this scenario today, we need to reassert, we need to rebuild, we need to reinvent. Okay, why this is necessary? We all know because everything keeps on changing today. Again, change is the only constant. So the very first priority of a CMO is to rebuild the marketing engine for flexibility in this changing environment. We have all heard about digital transformation from the past 2 decades, the entire world, the globe, and India as a country is doing a lot in terms of digital transformation. But what do we reinvent every day what we do, right? That becomes a strategy building priority of a CMO, that you have so many tools with you, but what do you reinvent with them? Okay, and how far you can go with them, how far you can reach your partners and customers, the reach, the depth, etc. Then the adaptive strategies. As the business organizations, they understand that the strategies are they are going to change. The 2-year or the 3-year strategy is going to change. The way we need to adapt the strategies, which is laid by an organization at the start of the year, and we need to adapt it, update it, implement it every now and then, every month, every quarter. We need to adapt these strategies, and that is where you value add to the enterprise. So when we see what we do in terms of rebuilding the marketing engine, it is from where we see today. Today, what are we doing? We are serving customers' needs and requirements. We are trying to deliver solutions according to the needs, according to the specifications, according to the requirement of the customer. And then what we do, a B2B industry or a B2C industry will manufacture, will re-engineer, will do a lot of R&D and introduce the final solution to the customer, okay? But that is what, when it is required, we did. In the near future, we need to adapt the planning in a way that there will be a future requirement of the customer. Why don't we build up a standard solution, a standard product that can have these features and specifications? So what do? We alter our goals and targets simultaneously with what we thought of. And how do we do that? We need to innovate ourselves while we deliver this to the customers or partners. And while we do that, we know that omni-channel execution will only add to the complexity of a customer changing environment, because the relationship between internal stakeholders and external stakeholders is somewhere where a CMO fits in. So digitization has infused the product and the service development, management, delivery, installations, which means the back office technical roles are as much as important as the roles which we people like we do, okay? Like the stakeholders, the major stakeholders of sales, product, offerings, engineering, R&D, operations, finance. So we all have to come together. We have to have a collaborative relationship between these internal functions and obviously try and deliver the solutions to the external audience as well. And then digital transformation. We all know that today we have a number of tools, a number of apps to reach the customer. There are customer facing experience tools, what we have. It's the real time interface, right? That is how a CMO would like its company or its brand to face the customer. So we have a portal, we have a CRM, we have a PRM in place. We have marketing tools like LAQA or like social media tools wherein we do a lot of mass communication. We try to promote, we do a lot of publicity through public relations and media. That is all said and done, wherein we say it's a live interface to the customer. What we do also customization. But what happens in the actual scenario is voluntarily mentions of being digital in the CEO's business priorities like have we grown significantly from where we were in the past traditional approach? How are we accessing our partners and customers? That becomes a challenge. And then in the last 2-3 years, we saw how e-commerce has boomed up. Amazon, Flipkart, sites like these where we knew that yes, we have to be visible, we have to make a brand value there. Otherwise, we lose to the competition. So this is something as a customer facing experience. There's a CMO's responsibility to be everywhere in the digital world, in the e-commerce space, in the marketplace. And in the organization enablers, that is within the organization, we need to build a strategic visualization. We need to figure that if we are digital savvy, we should also train our partners and customers to be digital savvy in terms of substructuring them, training them, and informing them that what we have as a product portfolio, as a solution portfolio on the digital platform. So the company depends a lot on the marketing roles in terms of the digital business transformation strategy. Okay, they depend on the marketing function because we are the ones, we obviously the product and the IT function is there for us for supporting, but then we are the ones, we are the gatekeepers of the brand, right? So we are the ones who are going to transform it, and the organization, the enterprise depends majorly for the digital transformation and the digital strategy within the marketing function. And as I said, that adaptive strategies. So every time at the start of the year, whichever year we pick up, if it is a 3-year strategy or a 5-year strategy, we are very receptive at the planning stage. Okay, we build, we create a lot of stuff, but what we do at the end of it, we just want to deliver in terms of the matrix. No, that's not going to work anymore. We need to first try and see that where are we at the end of the month, do a monthly measurement and follow a matrix, and then update and implement it. And if there is a deviation from what we thought of, if there is a deviation from goal, we again activate. We reactivate if there is a strategic expectation of the enterprise in between this year while delivering our goals and targets. And while we do so, we need to connect. We need to connect with the cross-functional system and then deliver the results. There are some pain points, when it comes to marketing. Whenever there is a economic shift or a drastic change in the pandemic days, what we saw, there was a cost cutting in the organization, be it from HR, from recruitment, or be it from marketing, or be it from any function. But what happens when you try to curb budgets from marketing? We did not try to reach to the market the way we did, the way we wanted to. Okay, we did not promote the brand enough. That means you're susceptible to lose to the competition. This is something CEO or the organization or the thought leadership needs to understand, that if you expect that you need to maintain the enterprise value or the brand in the market, you just cannot curb the budgets. It has got to maintain its decorum, its hygiene. So the marketing budgets, the way it is built and the way it is cut and the way it is, the way we follow as a guiding insight, as a guiding light to the organization, it has to be respected. Okay, because the value case of marketing in the organization appears very low, very weak compared to other functions. We do not deliver direct sales. We do not deliver profits. We do not produce products. But what we do is we promote it. Okay, we maintain the hygiene. We promote the brand, and then we are the ones who have this brand recall in the market, and that's very important. Specifically, if there is a changing environment, this needs to be addressed. Okay, and these gaps needs to be addressed. Finally, the key implementation areas. Now, with what top priorities we just spoke about, There's always how you measure your KPIs. There has to be a universal marketing measurement. You need to define your role not only as a chief marketing officer, but as a chief connecting officer. I say it is CCO, okay? CCO is sub function of a CMO. And how do you become a connecting officer? We'll see that. And then hybrid marketing. What is hybrid marketing? The traditional approach of marketing, wherein we had events, exhibition, you had a meet and greet session, you used to meet customers, meet analysts on the sessions, and there was a speaker on the stage. That is okay, that's traditional. It's meeting and greeting people. But we have evolved in the last decade. We have evolved digitally. We have more virtual summits now. How do we bring together? How do we address the gaps between traditional and the digital revolution what we have? So we need to do a hybrid marketing. It's not going to work anymore. You go only digital and you go only traditional. In terms of measuring matrix, it's very simple and it looks very complicated. And from the top-down approach, what we have the business plans and strategies which is laid down by the organization at the start of the year. Who is responsible to do it? The thought leadership team. And there, marketing is just a support function wherein we know that now the plans and strategy are in place. The next function of us is to now prepare a strategy framework around the plans and the strategy laid down by the organization. And the global CMO, the CMO of the company, is responsible to drive the strategy or to first get that strategy built up and then pass it on to the regions or to the countries in the organization. So the third step is we need to now plan campaigns and now do a lot of budgeting, execution, planning, strategy within the marketing organization. That means we are the one who are going to lever it down to the function and we are going to diagnose it. Now, the tactical lever, what I believe, is the core marketing function, wherein we have the marketing teams driving campaigns. We have enterprise marketing team, we have channel marketing team, we have digital marketing team, we have specialists, we have social media, we have PR. All these functions come together, all these specialists come together to optimize whatever we need to, reach the way we want to reach to our customers and partners. It's reach, depth and breadth, and that's where the core marketing function, that's where, it's the highest the company is going to expect from the marketing function. So we need to understand where we are a support function to the leadership team and to the business strategy and where we actually need to execute. And these matrix, believe me, you need to bridge this measurement gaps and also convince the management that our investments, marketing investments, will have an enterprise value, will have a brand value, okay, whatever it is. So whenever we have been given the budgets, it has to be critically calculated in a way that where do we see our brand going ahead, okay? So that is, you need to bridge these measurement gaps. And if there is a complex organization, there are obviously overlapping roles and responsibilities. So we need to define our marketing value. That is obviously based on the collaboration and consent of all the functions in the organizations, be it sales, service, offering, product, engineering, R&D. So this is something which marketing has to come up with their value add to the enterprise along with the consent of all the stakeholders. Okay, the feedback is very important. And that's why we say up and down across the organization, we need to agree with them and then align ourselves. Okay, and then only the goals and the outcomes of the behaviors and activities will be fruitful. So we need to think on two things. One is only return on investment, that is monetary benefits, or the monetary return, how much we spend is not only what we are aiming for. We are also aiming for the return on objectives. Did we actually return on the objectives of brand awareness, visibility in the market, brand recall, market share, things like that, which are intangible. And monetary is something, okay, you have participated somewhere and then you got leads, there was a deal generation. But it's also important how well you are going to do in terms of returning on the objectives you have set at the start of the year. As I just said, Chief Connecting Officer, right? This is a sub-function of a CMO. Now, how do you connect? You connect with your internal employees, functional stakeholders. You connect with every function wherein marketing is a support function. You get to know the sales requirements, the push they need to their partners and customers, what programs they want to drive. Then the engineering function, for example, they want to promote a white paper or a technical presentation or a training module. the R&D function, they want to promote something like a patent, or you go to the services, they want to promote the service through warranty packs via marketing engines to the customers, to the distributors. Okay, so we become um, a connecting officer to the internal employees. And for external, for partners, resellers, SIs, consultants, contractors, we have certain portals, we have programs, we have incentive programs, and we have so many on the platter. So we are the ones wherein they expect that, yeah, we'll be connecting with what do the telemarketing team, in today's world, they do? They try and talk to every small customer to large customer, tier 2 reseller to a tier 1 reseller. Then, in terms of customers, the large accounts, the end users, enterprise customers, the account based marketing, what we call, is very important. There are relationship programs to even drive customer relationship management. Brand, very important. The maintenance of the brand in the market, or you call as hygiene or decorum, it's the reputation of the brand, right? So, how do we do even try to maintain impressions, clicks, engagements, leads? How do we maintain that? How do we have a share of voice in the market? It's very important. Finally, strategic partners and distributors, and they are the ones who actually are taking your products ahead to the channel and then to the end customer. So it's very, very important. You have to be connecting with each and every stakeholder, be it external, internal, and be it the brand value. So what we say that we are here to redefine our role. We are not going to do what we were doing, but we are going to create value. Okay. And what happens when we do this? We assert, okay, our unique position, because we can deliver in terms of data, in terms of insights to capture and anticipate the customer needs. We reflect the value of customers, okay? And that's a unique connection across a complex set of channels. So we have to build engagement and deliver the value. And obviously, the connection between employees and brands and creating the brand experiences, that goes without saying. Gatekeeper of the brand, and we are the stewardship of the brand. The outward expression of enterprise value is via the way you're promoting your brand and the way you're promoting your enterprise. So connect and collaborate with partners, both inside and outside of the organization, as I just said. So we are building, we are acting as allies, and we are acting as a correlation between best experiences for the value of the customer and the enterprise. And then hybrid marketing, it's something like digital and traditional putting together, integrating it. So we are progressively aligned with digital marketing leadership in the organization, adaptable, integrated approach for channel planning, transportation, and optimization. Channel plays a very important role in an industry like which we belong to, which is B2B. So you need to have a flexible plan for channels, and also a proper plan to spend the channel budget. Okay, and the future, as we know, is online and offline. Okay, we have to symbiotically work together, and we need to at the same time bridge the barriers. Okay, like the partners who are 20 years in the market, 20, 30 years, they do not know how to use a portal which is specially meant for them, which is customized for them. So we need to bridge the gaps, that look, we have something for you, please utilize it. That's there where you can leverage. We have kept everything on the platter, on the portal for you. So we need to bridge the gaps. We need to train such type of partners and customers that digitally we are not tech savvy. Okay, and then we now want to, be equally tech savvy and leverage what we have already developed for you. So it is a digital experience of a CX journey, a customer or a partner journey, and that is where we come together and we say that this is what we see as future of hybrid marketing.
Thank you, Deepti. Indeed, very, very, very well said. And the points you've added does make things to understand about what is the CMO's top priority. With that, let's move on to the next one. And the next is very interesting as it gets. New marketing strategies, building blocks for shaping customers' journey in the new normal.